Shalom Israel, Brother Don Nah, back again with another 30 for 30. This is day 23, I think, 23 or 24. We're going to proceed with pushing this truth. It's my heart's and prayer, my heart's desire and prayer that all Israel might be saved, as it states in Romans chapter 10 and verse number 1. Right? I want to give a hearty shalom to all the brothers out there that do what we do and push this truth to the four corners of the earth, condemning the wicked of the other nations and condemning the wicked of our own people, right? Crying aloud, sparing not, showing our people their sins. I want to give another hearty shalom to all the women in this thing, all the sincere Akwath, the sisters, the wives that don't usurp authority over the man, but they get the job done too. They teach in the most effective way possibly and respective way possibly. And they win people over with their conversation. You know, women, we need y'all in this truth too, to push this truth as well. Respectfully, not usurping authority over the man, but getting it done in the most respectful way possible. And shalom to all of y'all. Shalom to all of the young people in this thing, right? The ones that are just going back to school. I know you guys are faced with strong temptations every day. It's hard being, especially if you're in college, you know. It's hard being in school dealing with temptations to the left and to the right of you. And especially being in college where there might be you might know one person that's in the truth or none. And if you do know somebody, you really don't know, you're really not really that cool with that person. And it's hard to navigate through temptation spots as school, as college, right? When you're walking on that thin line by yourself. So shalom to y'all that's out there keeping the faith. Today's topic is going to be dealing diplomatically with demons. Now, I got this title from Captain Tazama from the Sakari camp. He said it in one of his videos, and I liked it, and I decided to make a whole lesson on it because it's very important. Dealing diplomatically with demons, right? I really like it because I just like alliteration, you know. In school, I think one of my best categories, one of my best subjects was literature, probably because my mom was a literature teacher. But I just thought alliteration was fascinating. Alliteration, if you don't know, is just like a sequence of words starting with the same letter, right? But dealing diplomatically with demons. Let's go and first I want to research what this word diplomatic means, right? Let's get that. This is diplomatic. And I just typed it in Google and got the sense from it. And it says, of or concerning the profession, activity, or skill of managing international relations, right? But this is what I want to bang on, right? This is what I want to focus on. The explanation of what diplomatic means. Having or showing an ability to deal with people in a sensitive and effective way, right? Having or showing ability to deal with people in a sensitive and effective way. And that's what this lesson is going to be about today, right? We're going to learn how to deal with people, all sorts of people, in a sensitive and effective way. Let's go to the first precept. We're going to go to Proverbs 26 and 4, right? This is a classic. Proverbs 26 and 4. Answer not a fool according to his folly, lest thou also be like unto him. This is a classic. A lot of times in this truth, it's just smart not to answer a fool according to his folly. One, because if he's going off on a tangent about just foolishness, because that's what folly means, just foolishness, by answering his foolishness, it's gonna make you look foolish, you know. I was watching a video, the brother Naquan from WFI, and he was on the street teaching, and somebody was coming at him with straight folly and madness. And he said, man, I'm not even going to answer that. And he pulled out this precept. He said, because if somebody walks up and they see you going at me with foolishness, and I counteract you, and I give you a response or how you want me to respond, they're not going to know who's the fool in the equation. So sometimes it's just wise to not answer a fool not according to his folly, right? Plain as day. And it reads, lest thou be like unto him. You don't want to be considered a fool just like he is, right? And a lot of times, even in the world, we got sayings like, man, I'm not even going to entertain that. Yeah, she sent me this long paragraph, but I ain't got time. I ain't even finna entertain that, right? We get a little older and a little bit more mature, and we start saying things like, man, I'm not even going to dignify that with a response, you know? And so that's kind of how we got to look at these situations when people come up and they're scoffing, they're mocking, and they only got one intent, and that intent isn't good, right? So that's Proverbs 26 and verse 24. Let's go to 1 Peter 3 and verse 9, right? And it reads, not rendering evil for evil or railing for railing, but contrariwise blessing, right? Knowing that ye are thereunto called, that ye should inherit a blessing. So sometimes it's just expedient. It's smart not to render evil for evil or railing for railing. You know, sometimes if somebody's just going off, that's what railing is, right? Just going off. It's smart not to get on that same train, because now he's losing his voice. You losing your voice. You in your mind know you moving out of the spirit, but you just can't stop at this point, right? Because that person done got you there. Don't even get to that level. Not rendering evil for evil or railing for railing. And so I wanted to revisit an analogy I said in the last video, right? About being drawn from the breast. And something that my wife pointed out to me, she was like, because, yeah, you got to understand these people are fools when they come up to you. Whether they got bad intentions or not, it's still our job to guide them, right? So they can latch on, so they can receive this milk the proper way. And sometimes they might be trying to latch on, and then all of a sudden something else caught their attention. Now they let go and they look the other way. And you kind of guide them right back. But rendering evil for evil or railing for railing, what does that look like? You got a tender baby on you, and instead of guiding them back gently with meekness, right, you kind of taking the baby's head and yanking them, and you know what I'm saying? And that's very detrimental to the baby. One, you can get the baby shaken baby syndrome. You know, it's not good. Let's see. So we got to get back to our original state. Get back to the law, where in Deuteronomy it says that we should treat each other like the men were tender and delicate among us. You know, let's get that. We got to get back to the point where our men are tender and delicate, right? And we're not showing hate towards each other. Our eye isn't evil towards each other. Let's get that real quick. Or do I want to go to... Yeah, I'm going to go to Deuteronomy 28 and 54. This is a classic. So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate. There was a time where the men used to be tender and delicate among us, right? But now these curses have fell upon our people. Now his eyes shall be evil towards his brother. You know, we got to get back to that first estate where we were tender and delicate dealing with our brothers and sisters. It's a classic, Deuteronomy 28 and 54. Let's go to the book of Revelation 22 and verse 11. And it reads, he that is unjust, let him be unjust still. This is really key. You got to understand and have the discernment to know when somebody is just they are just what they are, right? It says, he that is unjust, let him be unjust still. He which is filthy, let him be filthy still. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you just got to let them be them and don't even take it there. Don't even be like unto them. Don't answer them. Don't give them don't Sometimes you got to say, hey, I'm not even, that is so wild. I'm not even going to dignify that with a response. Right? Sometimes you got to be like, that man is an unjust man. There's no reason with him. I'm going to let him be unjust. Right? And you kind of just go about your day. Right? Let's go to, we at Sirach. Like I said, man, I'm not going to be before you long. This is just a good topic to get down, man. Dealing diplomatically with demons. And revisiting again from last night, where it says fumes and smoke appear. This is Sirach 22 and verse 24, right? Sirach 22 and verse 24, and it reads, fumes and smoke appear before the flames do. So do insults come before the violence. When we look at this, fumes, it's and the cold thing is, when you look at fumes and smoke appear before the flames do, when you in the house, right, and you see the fumes and the smoke, you're either gonna do two things. Either you're gonna get out, right? You're gonna exit the stage, or you're gonna try to stop the fumes and stop the smoke before the flames appear. Even when the flames appear, you still proceed to try to put it out. So just like just like the analogy of flames, it's the same thing with insults. So when you dealing with somebody and all of a sudden the insults come, it's time to put it out, or it's time to exit the stage, right? Sometimes you got to tell them, hey, I'm sorry, we can't come to an agreement to where we can reason diplomatically. If you need to, have a nice day, right? And that's one thing I learned about some of the old teachers in this truth when I go back and I watch them on YouTube, is that they kind of mastered dealing diplomatically with these demons that just walk up. You know, they didn't get out of character, because they at the time they command the stage. You know, let every man be persuaded by his own mind. They command the stage, and when I'm watching them, is a difference between how they used to teach and how we got into this way of teaching today. Because back then, you know, scoffers would come up, and it seemed like there was more scoffers back then than there are right now. But the way they commanded everything is like, look, we got the truth. We know you can't deny the truth, and that's probably why you're mad. And when you get that understanding, you got to understand that, hey, look, you got to let them be unjust still. And know, like, I don't have to get worked up. They're not mad at me. They're mad at the Bible, right? And then sometimes you just got to let them act up, because it's going to make them look like fools, and it's going to make you look like you got the truth. Because if you really have the truth, you're not going to be stressing like that. Somebody that's stressing is trying to find answers. When you have the answers, you don't have to get out of character. When you fight back, you know what I'm saying? When you fight back, you look like you're trying to find the answers too. We got to understand in this truth that we got the pure doctrine, and we got to hold fast to that. Right? Let's go to 2 Timothy, right? And so again, when that comes, when you see the fumes and when you see the smoke arise, then it's time to go back to Proverbs, where it says, answer not a fool according to his folly. You know, it's time to take a step back, you know, and realize where you at, who you are, and what you're doing. And you don't want to jeopardize what you're doing in any circumstance. This is 2 Timothy chapter 2 and verse 23. But foolish and unlearned questions avoid, knowing that they do gender strife. Right? When we look at this, and this really goes hand in hand with Sirach. But foolish and unlearned questions avoid, knowing that they do gender strife. Sirach says what? Fumes and smoke appear before the flames. So foolish and unlearned questions you need to avoid. These foolish and unlearned questions go back to Proverbs again. Answer not a fool. So when somebody comes up to you, sometimes they give you a question, and you can discern that their question is a clear scoff. And when they come up with a clear scoff, a clear scoffing question, it's just smart for you to avoid it completely. But foolish and unlearned questions avoid, knowing that they do gender strife. When you get that discernment, and it happens a lot when we're teaching. When you go out on the street, right, and you're teaching, and sometimes we get a little overprotective for this truth, right? Which is a natural thing. We should be protective over this truth, stand on it with everything that we got. But when you discern that somebody's just bringing folly, somebody's just there to scoff, just to mock, right? When Satan cometh immediately, when you discern that Satan is on somebody, it's just expedient just to avoid the whole situation. If I'm looking at you and I'm dealing with you, right? And as soon as I discern that, the conversation's over, I'm switching to somebody else. Who else got a question? If we ain't got no other question, we're gonna bring something else out, you know? And that's our flesh that's in us. Even me personally, you know, because like if the person coming with foolishness and he just keep talking and talking, me personally, I know I'm gonna want to say something back just naturally. Me speaking as Ashton, right? And that goes with everybody in this truth, because we know this Bible so well. It's like, hey, bro, you can really get it. But we got to understand, like what I was talking about last night, the reason why we're out here, and to do that to its fullest potential. We don't want to go off. Matter of fact, let's get that, because that's perfect. That's perfect. Let's get, I was going to say this for the last precept, but because it's going right into what I'm explaining, right? We don't want to go off and then stray away from the whole point while we're out there. This is Sirach chapter 6 and verse number 2 in the Good News Translation, right? The GNT really be on point when it be breaking down Sirach. This is verse 2, and it reads, "Do not let your passions carry you away. This can tear your soul to pieces like a bull." Now I put this precept on my page, on my personal page at Prince with Power on Instagram. Now it's crazy because this verse can go these verses are manifold, you know, and and I brought it out to say that, hey, look, don't let your passions get in the way of serving the Most High. But even when we look at dealing diplomatically with demons, it works, because look, do not let your passions carry you away. When you're dealing with somebody and you know you're out there to wake up and push this truth so the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians can wake up and come back to these laws so we can get up out of this place. And that's the number one reason why we're doing this. We got to take our personal strife and our personal passions out of this thing and come back, right? Can't sleep at night mad. You know what I'm saying? It's going to make you mad. Why steer that up when you can just avoid it? You know? And that's like dealing with our parents, dealing with cousins, grandmothers, and all of that, right? Because those are the ones that really make us, you know, those are the ones that really gets to us, right? And the brothers is bringing out a lot of good examples about basketball and painting, like your own personal passions. But what I'm going into is that not only is talking about those passions getting in the way of you serving the Most High and you putting the Most High on the back burner, but just your emotional passion can derail you from reaching your end goal, right? It says, do not let your passions carry you away. This can tear your souls to pieces like a bull, right? So when you're dealing with somebody and you're trying to deal with them diplomatically, let's get that definition one more time. Diplomatic, having or showing an ability to deal with people in a sensitive and effective way. So when you're doing this, right, when that's the main goal, when we're trying to deal with them in a sensitive and effective way, and we don't want to get derailed, we can't let our passions burn up in the inside and take over. We got to suppress and subject ourselves unto the order which is at hand. When we're out there, everything must be decent and in order. We have to subject ourselves to what's going on, subject ourselves to the reason why we're out there, right? So we can't let our passions carry us away in a conversation, right, that's going to tear our souls to pieces like a bull. It's going to get to the point where you get so frustrated your readers and the people holding posts like looking at you like, all right, bro, you bring it on home. You know what I'm saying? Like, or it get to the point where you get up there and now the order of your whole camp is going haywire, right? Your readers and the people on the post, now they want to get into it too. And now all hell's breaking loose, right? You have to be able to subject yourself to what's going on. Do not let your passions carry you away. This can tear your soul to pieces like a bull. And then after that scoffer leaves, right? After that scoffer leaves, he ain't going to do nothing that he wasn't doing in the first place. He's going to go right back into his wickedness, right? He's going to go and scoff and mock some more. And because you're in the truth and you're sincerely doing this, it's going to bug you throughout that whole night. You know, I done been in situations where I had conversations with people and we got into strife, and it's somebody that's not necessarily in the truth. And then they're living their life up, and I'm like, what the heck, man? This man really can't really think like this, bro. He really can't, like, he really trying the truth. Like I didn't just show him something, you know what I'm saying, that was emphatically truth. And he tried to shoot it down like it was nonsense. And that really, somebody in the truth, boy, that'll keep you up at night, like the brother said, right? Let's go to, and speaking of the brother, the strong brother, the mighty brother Azrael, he brought up a good precept that I forgot to mention last night, but I'm gonna mention it today, right? This is Job 6:25 and 27. This is it right here. You know what I'm saying? This is a perfect precept for dealing diplomatically with demons, right? And it reads, how forcible are right words? How forcible are the right words? You know what I'm saying? But what does your arguing reprove? What does arguing reprove? It doesn't, arguing does not reprove nothing. Cause it's like this, right? If you're trying to reprove somebody, and when you reprove somebody, you're trying to correct them, put them on the right path. When you argue with somebody, you can be right all day long, but you're not going to change them. If you argue with somebody, an argument is not going to change nobody, at least not at that moment. And it takes a strong and humble person to revisit the situation and be like, even though things got heated in an argument, I could see where he was going. I was wrong. And maybe I shouldn't do that no more, right? But not everybody's like that. How forcible are right words, but what does arguing reprove? Verse 26, do ye imagine to reprove words and the speeches of one that is desperate, which are as wind? Verse 27, yea, ye overwhelm the fatherless and ye dig a pit for your friend, right? So it's crazy. That's cold, because it's like we out there for a purpose. And instead of, they're already in a pit, right? They're already in the earth 6 feet under. Their spirit is dead. They're already in the pit. And by you going back and forth with them, rendering evil for evil, rendering railing for railing, you're digging them a deeper pit. Right? In the world, they got a saying, yeah, you're just digging yourself a ditch, digging yourself into a ditch. You know, when you're going back and forth, you're literally digging. You're trying to help them up. That's the whole purpose why you're out there. You're trying to help them up. But contrary to helping them up by your approach, by the way that you're rendering evil for evil and railing for railing, you're actually sending them deeper down in. And the crazy part is, when you dig them deeper down in, the next person they come across that's trying to bring them out is going to have to work 10 times harder to bring them back in, because you done dig them into a deeper hole. Because now, not only you got to break down the false doctrine that they've been indoctrinated with, the lies they've cleaved unto. Now you got to break down this false stereotype of the Israelites, because they're going to go into a person. The next Israelite they come into contact with, they're already going to be on 10. So now I got to put out that fire in order to get them to receive the milk that I really want. You know, now I gotta put out, well, we're not all like that. And that brother was wrong for doing that. But brother, what he really was trying to say was this. And he really was trying to do this. And once you get by all of that, you know, whether that person wants to listen to you or not, sometimes they're already fried. Sometimes they're already done with it. You know, they say first impressions are everything. Sometimes you mess up that first impression, is wraps. You know, it's over with. Right? I'm going to get that definition one more time. Dealing diplomatically with demons. Diplomatic, having or showing an ability to deal with people in a sensitive and effective way. And we got to deal diplomatically with these demons, right? These demons that pop up, these mockers, these scoffers. Demons can be even in your family. And it's crazy because demons can be a part of your friends in just certain situations. A lot of people think, you know what I'm saying, Christ, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, is this nice guy. But I guarantee you that some of the phrase, the classic sayings that he said, if you were to say that to your friend, your friends would look at you like you was an a-hole, like you was a jerk. This man told one of his best friends, "Get behind me, Satan." He called his friend Satan. If you were to say that to one of your friends right now, you think they really would take that kindly? You calling them Satan? A lot of us would be like, "Why are you calling me Satan, boy? I'm in the truth." You know what I'm saying? I'm spirit led. You know? And sometimes we gotta understand that. We gotta understand that we gotta deal diplomatically with these demons. There's a saying that says this, right? It says we can win more bees with honey other than vinegar. And what is that really saying, right? When we dealing with these demons are like bees, right? When you deal with bees, you're cautious. You know what I'm saying? You're cautious because they can sting you at any moment. They can get mad at any moment. Anything you can say, it can trigger them, you know, at any moment. And so sometimes we got to give them that honey because it's going to attract them. We got to give it to them the right way, because sometimes when we go off and we give them vinegar, right, and we render evil for evil and railing for railing, sometimes you get stung and you don't want to get stung. And then on the other hand, you want to attract as many bees as possible. Because when we attract as many bees as possible, now that stinger gets to turn the other way towards the right enemy, right? Not the enemy of your own people, right? So we can get back to Deuteronomy 28 and 54, being delicate amongst our own people, right? And not having our eyes evil towards our own brother, but point that stinger to these other nations where it should be pointed at. Because that's the main thing that our oppressors really are banking on, that our attention is not on them, but amongst each other. We tell brothers all the time, they did a number on us to where it's the simplest tactic plan in the world. It's called divide and conquer. Divide them up and put them against each other. It'll be easy to conquer them, you know? And that's on a higher level between creating races, different races, even to a lower level of now you got the house nigga and the field nigga, the light skins versus the dark skins and all of that, right? As long as we start focusing on stuff like that, you know, it's like brother just mentioned Nabal. Nabal rendered evil for evil. David was tender. David was delicate. He was a man, right, after the Most High's heart, and he had favor, right? And Nabal rendered evil for evil. I mean, not evil for evil. He just rendered evil. His eye was evil towards his brother for no reason. You know, he kind of got bigger than the set, as we like to say. You know, he got bigger than the set. David shows up on the scene, and he's like, man, like imagine if you was at a house party, right? And it's your house, and you letting folks in, right? And somebody comes up and be like, hey man, Drizzy at the door. Drake trying to come in the house party, right? And you be like, Drake, okay. The man still got to pay to get in. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing special, right? But this was in righteousness, right? This is King David we talking about. So you saying this about God's anointed, right? Shall not a dog move his tongue, even in your own nation, right? This is King David. And when you touch somebody that's tender and delicate, right, it makes you look like a fool. It makes you look like a fool. That's why we got to deal diplomatically, not calling David a demon by any means, but just revisiting the whole topic of this video, right? This is why we have to deal diplomatically with demons, right? On a daily level. And I'm gonna read that definition one more time. Diplomatic, having or showing an ability to deal with people in a sensitive and effective way, right? And I told you I wasn't going to be before y'all long. This is, I think, my last day on this 30 for 30, right? I'm going to pass it off to the next mighty speaker, Brother Yeshaya, right? Big Foss. You know, this was a great experience, right? Doing the 30 for 30 videos, 30 days. And I'll explain why it's so great. Because throughout your day, right, you're doing things and you're trying to get everything in order. And typically you naturally put God on the back burner, right? We go back to Sirach 22 where it says or Salakia. We go to Sirach 6:2 where it says, do not let your passions carry you away. We naturally let our passions carry us away, even if it's not our real passions, like just our jobs in general. Because throughout the whole day, we're coming through. We wake up, go to work. After we go to work, we might come home. We gotta eat. We gotta shower. Some of us work out, right? Some of us got kids we gotta take care of and whatnot. And then we might, and we put God on the back burner. We put the Most High on the back burner. We might read like 2 or 3 scriptures, or two or three chapters. I mean, you know what I'm saying, and then take it to bed. We might watch one video, take it to bed, right? But doing this 30 for 30 is like, man, it's like everything else is on the back burner, and we really just focus on doing the work of the Most High and being in His Word. So just because we did it. You know what I'm saying? 3 videos a piece, and the next person goes 3 videos a piece. And with that, man, it's like throughout the day, I'm trying to make sure I can get all my precepts right. I'm trying to think of analogies that'll help me further the effectiveness of my videos, you know, and I'm trying to plan everything out throughout the day. I'm constantly in the Word, which precepts are going to make it into the video, right? And it's just a good thing that I feels like I'm putting in work for the Most High. And then if you add on fasting throughout your day, you know what I'm saying? You really feel like, dang, man, your day is really just swelled up. Just in the Most High. You're afflicting yourself. You're studying. You're preparing, right? And then when it comes down to the time of doing the video, you do the video. After you do the video, now you got to get you something to eat. If you haven't showered that day, I showered. But if you don't, then you got to shower. And by the time you get out of the shower, man, it's time to go to bed and do it all over again. And you got to work for the Most High the next 2 days. And even if you're not speaking, right, you got to be attentive to your brother that's going the next day, right? You got to be on there to scribe, right? So you still got to be there, alert, so you can contribute in the group chat as the brothers have done so eloquently. You know, and it's really just put a fire in you to the point where after this 30 for 30 is up, I don't know what I'm gonna do with myself, right? But it's gonna train me to keep trying to stay on fire, right? To keep making videos even if we're not on a 30 for 30. So I encourage everybody to do a 30 for 30. Get you a brother, get you a sister, right? You know what I'm saying? And y'all divvy it up. Y'all can do 2 videos or 3 videos in a row. Or y'all could do every other night, you know what I'm saying? But this was definitely a good experience. I'm going to pass it off to my brother, Big Foss, right? Today's topic was dealing diplomatically with demons. I hope y'all enjoyed it because this is something that we have to embody as Israelites, as teachers, as being a light to the world, right? I give all honor and glory to the Most High through His only begotten Son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, who the nation refers to as a Mashiach Yahushai, right? And I say shalom. Y'all be blessed.